In 2013, we had two action films with a similar plot. We're going to talk about the R-rated one right now. Let's go. Welcome back to my channel. And the film we're going to talk about today is Olympus Has Fallen. Yes, in 2013, we had two films with similar plots. We had Olympus Has Fallen that came out March 22nd of 2013, and we had White House Down that came out in June. Now, White House Down was PG-13, and it had double the budget of this film, actually. So this film beat it to the punch, though. This one came out in March, and this one was rated R, and it's an hour and 59 minutes long, and it had a $70 million budget. White House Down, a $150 million budget. This one made $98 million in America when it was released, and $170 worldwide. So it was a nice size hit from Millennium Pictures. They're the same studio that did the Expendable series. They did Homefront. They did some other action pictures. And they did the other Fallen pictures, London Has Fallen and Angel Has Fallen. And who they got to direct this film was Antoine Fuqua, who's a fabulous director. He's done the two Equalizer movies. He did Training Day. He did Magnificent Seven remake, which I really liked. He did a cool boxing film called Southpaw with Jake Gyllenhaal. If you've never seen it, check it out. So he was a perfect fit for this material, and I think he's the reason why the film works so well. We'll get into that a little bit. And in this film, we got Gerard Butler playing Secret Service agent Mike Banning. We got Aaron Eckhart in here playing the president, President Asher. We got the great Morgan Freeman as Speaker Trumbull. We got Angela Bassett as a Secret Service director, and she's fabulous in this film. We got Dylan McDermott in here as Forbes, a retiring Secret Service agent at the beginning of the film. We got Rick Yoon as Kang. He's the main villain. He plays a North Korean terrorist. Funny enough, he also played a North Korean terrorist in Die Another Day, the last James Bond film that Pierce Brosnan was in. Melissa Leo in here as Secretary of Defense. Cole Hauser's in this film. The film has a ton of great actors in this film. Really solid cast here. That also helps sell what's going on in this film. And at the beginning of the film, we start off at Camp David. It's Christmas time, it's snowing outside, and we're introduced to the president, we're introduced to Mike Banning, we're introduced to the president's son and his wife, and who's played by Ashley Judd, by the way, and they're going to a Christmas party. It's a fundraiser, and as they're going, they get in an accident, and sadly, Mike Banning has to choose between saving the First Lady or the President. He chooses to save the President, and unfortunately, the First Lady gets killed. We fast forward 18 months. Mike Banning has been reassigned to the Treasury building. He's no longer the President's main guardian, and it's really weighing on him. He misses his job, he misses interacting with the President and his son. And we find out that the president doesn't blame Mike, but he can't be reminded of his wife's death every time he looks at him, so that's why he was reassigned. And we get to learn the South Korean leaders are coming in to meet with the president about tensions with the North Koreans. And we get a really nice siege moment in this film, a siege scene that goes on for about 10 minutes. After the South Korean president gets to the White House, we see this plane coming into DC, and it gets approached by one of our jets and tell them to land. They end up shooting down those planes, and they end up shooting up DC. Meanwhile, these other terrorists come in, blow up the front gate of the White House. They start killing some of the Secret Service agents, and all this other stuff. It's a really well-staged action sequence. Antoine Fuqua is excellent at that. He proves it here. This opening action scene is really well done. And Mike Banning realizes something's going on, so he takes off from his position at the Treasury and goes over to the White House. He starts taking out terrorists as he's trying to get to the other Secret Service agents to help out. Unfortunately for them, the president was moved to the bunker, and Kang, who was in the South Korean delegates' party, and some other people that are on his side take out the South Korean president and some of the security detail, and they have the president hostage in the bunker. And pretty much within 20 minutes, they take out the White House, and they control the White House. And we find out they're from North Korea, and they're just, they want the U.S. to pull out the 7th Fleet from the South China Sea, and they want us to pull our troops off the DMZ line. And that's pretty much the setup of Olympus Has Fallen. Pretty much this is Die Hard at the White House. Although in this movie, Mike Banning, as we find out, was a Special Forces Ranger. So he's had training, and he's been in combat before, and then he became a Secret Service agent. So we get to learn he's much more than just a cop like John McClane was in Die Hard. And Gerard Butler's fantastic as the lead hero here, and great as an action star. He's fabulous here, and I like Gerard Butler in this movie a lot. Everybody across the board does really well. And as the movie goes on, we just see Mike getting into trouble here and there, has to take out the terrorists. We have action scenes after action scenes, suspenseful scenes, and at the end of the film, he gets into the bunker, he kills all the bad guys, and him and the president get out with their lives, and we win the day. That's pretty much Olympus Has Fallen. I skipped over some things, but this movie is really well done. Antoine Fuqua really shoots the action nicely. He always has. He shoots the movie is beautiful to look at. The only problem with this film is when the film relies on CGI. When the green screen moments happen, there's a siege at night with some Navy SEALs on some helicopters approaching the White House, and it looks fake. They try to hide it with darkness, no doubt, but it looks fake. You could tell they didn't have the money to pull it off properly, or to use real helicopters, or whatever happened. You can just tell they didn't have the money, which is a shame. Antoine Fuqua tries to shoot around as much as he can. There's some CGI in the initial siege, but mostly it's practical. There's some, the Washington Monument gets toppled over the top part of it. That you can tell it looks pretty good, but some of the other CGI doesn't hold up that well. They just didn't have the money to pull it off. And if it wasn't for the other action scenes shot so well and for real, I probably wouldn't give this film as high of a rating as I'm going to give it. But this movie, Millennium Pictures, is kind of like today's Canon Pictures, only with bigger budgets and better directors, I would say. Even the Expendables film was directed by Stallone, the first one. Even though that movie's not a perfect action film, I do like that film. And obviously they got Antoine Fuqua to direct this film, and this is the best directed film out of the 3 Fallen films. I mean, the other 2 are directed okay, but this one was definitely the best directed one. Even without me reviewing the other ones, this one's definitely the better made film. I would give Olympus Has Fallen an 8 out of 10. It's really well done. Again, the CGI holds it back a little bit from giving me a little bit higher of a rating. That's more limitations on budget. It's a Die Hard clone, but it's well done. It's rated R. It's a hard R for sure. If you've never seen it, I highly recommend it. 8 out of 10 for Olympus Has Fallen. Have you ever seen this film? What are your thoughts? Leave a comment down below. Let me know. Hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button. I greatly appreciate it. Now that we're into August, I'm just giving you a little update where my channel is going to go now through Halloween. I'm going to switch over to mostly horror films from here on out. I know it seems a little bit early, but it's never too early to start watching horror films. So that's pretty much where my channel is going to go. It doesn't mean I won't do an action film or some other kind of film here or there, but mostly it's going to be horror films from here on out. So tune in for that. We're going to have some fun through Halloween. I'll also do a video. We go a little crazy around here for Halloween at my house. I'm going to do a video about our decorations once we get them up. We're not there yet. Usually middle of September I start the decorating process. So stay tuned for that as well in the upcoming months and weeks. I hope you're all doing well out there. Stay safe, and I'll be back soon with another review. Thanks. Bye.